Hearthstone Global Games. I'm Raven, joining me is Lothar. Of course, we're going to bring in you all the action for today. We just had a great series of Czech Republic versus the Philippines, where Czech Republic, led by Stan Sivka, managed to get it out just about in a very close one.
In an ace match, they delivered 3-2 with the Elemental Shaman at the end. A very exciting match. Hopefully the next one will be as exciting.
Yeah, and the next one, we do have a great one coming out. It's going to be, I've been looking forward to this matchup since I knew it was happening on day one. It's going to be South Korea versus Greece, two countries that are very, have a strong history in Hearthstone.
And established players.
Yeah, very established players. And, South Korea for me is one a country I'm rooting for quite heavily. There's a lot of great players on there. Handsomeguy, DDaHyoNi, Kranich, Flurry. That team is scary indeed.
That is definitely true. On the other hand, we have Greece with players like Logan, Likeabawse, who's actually very an insane amount of HCT points.
Yep.
Then we have Dethelor, who is also playing now for Team Millennium, if I remember correctly. Tsibou, he wasn't really that, let's say, present on the scene as well as the other three, but still is a formidable player here.
Yeah, I think because Greece is so well known with so many players, it's hard to be make a huge impact in general because there's so many just big streamers, big players, and overall. But going back to South Korea, Handsomeguy, the highest point earner, basically in terms of just pure dominance in HCT last year. He won 2 of the 3 championships for Asia Pacific and only lost one to his teammate who's on this team and good friend who's DDaHyoNi. And they're actually physically got together for this match today, so they're going to be hanging out together while they play. And then with the other Korean teams, we can check out the group they're in as well.
Yeah, we're jumping to Group D from the previous group: South Korea, Greece, Hong Kong, Hungary, Portugal, and Slovakia. So we have a small talk about this group before. It seems like the best teams are actually right now in the game.
Yeah, I think these two, South Korea and Greece, are probably going to be hinged as the top 2 teams in this group. But definitely going to be great to see what comes out of the rest of the teams here, especially Portugal. Looking forward to seeing Hong Kong as well.
Yeah.
For example, Yulsik represents Hong Kong, so he's been in multiple HCT tournaments this year and last year as well.
Yeah.
So definitely got some strong players, and something he's said multiple times is he wants to continue to grow the Hong Kong scene. As well, so we'll get to see some of that as well when we see more and more players. So yeah, this is the place. Hearthstone Global Games is where it's at to prove how good your country is in the world.
I personally look forward to Hungary in this group because I don't really know much about Hungary players. I want to know them. I want to see what the community seems like.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, a lot of the time, no matter how close we all are due to the wonders of technology, and, I can be friends with people from Poland, for example, is that there are some areas you just don't hear too much of in Hearthstone, right? Unless they've played in tournaments like DreamHacks and, some other majors for, HCT itself, for example, you just don't get to see too much. But I wouldn't mind visiting Greece. Look at that. Woof.
Wow. And you can live in that country.
Yes, people can live in Greece. And we get a top-level analysis. That actually looks awesome. So it is going to be the guys from Greece against South Korea. And another place I really want to visit, pretty much the mecca of esports, is good old South Korea. So
with another Blizzard title, with the StarCraft.
Yep. They are the gods of StarCraft. Absolutely fantastic when the rest of the world are called foreigners. When it comes to StarCraft and Korea, they're like, anyone who's not from Korea is a foreigner, which is absolutely fantastic for me. But let's talk about more Hearthstone. DDaHyoNi is going to be the player who opens up for South Korea. He had Rogue or Priest to choose from, and he chose his Priest, and he's going to go against Logan, representing Greece, with his Mage over the Hunter.
Maybe just make a quick recap. How does this work, right? Because a lot of people actually tuned in right now. So both teams are setting up players in order that is pre-made before even the teams meet.
Yep.
So we have DDaHyoNi against Logan. Then we have Flurry against Likeabawse, Handsomeguy against Tsibou, Kranich against Dethelor, and they will choose the classes when they know what the opponent is and what classes does he have.
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, so imagine this as one best of 5, but each player is a deck, effectively. You know, that's the easiest way. So once DDaHyoNi has played Logan, which is Priest versus Mage, then we'll move on to Flurry versus Likeabawse, like you said. And then they'll pick what class they want to play out of their 2 options. If, like in the first series of the day, we went to an ace match, then the player we can see Kranich for Korea and Tsibou for Greece, which is actually a bit of a surprise, actually showing a lot of respect to Tsibou there, means that, you know, they can either play the class they didn't play in their first game or the 9th class for them there.
But let's go into the game because the players are already starting. It's Hunter versus Rogue, the first game.
Yeah.
So
they're not starting quite yet, though. No, they're not starting quite yet.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, they are going to be going into it, and it looks like it's Mage and Priest to kick off. Yeah, it's fine. The format is new, everyone. The format's new. But the Mage list, we've already seen an aggro Mage from Philippines.
Yeah, that is correct.
But, you know, Time Warp Mage or like OTK Mage, whatever you want to call it, has actually been very popular. We might see that from Greece here as we start with Logan.
Well, Logan, I remember I met him in 2015, I think. That was DreamHack summer or winter. Man, that was so long time ago when you think about it.
Many years ago.
A very loud person, but a super likable personality. And he's like, you know, he's like a bear. He has a huge beard, and he's such a just likable person and a skilled player as well. So hopefully we'll see a lot of good things from him here.
We see Likeabawse in the background there as well.
Yep.
The Greek guys grouping up, not too much of a surprise. Those names are switched, of course. Is Logan on the left and Likeabawse in the background. And then we have DDaHyoNi with the Cloud9 t-shirt on and Handsomeguy, who's at his place, as we mentioned, representing Korea. So that's going to be awesome. And as we, you know, just to remind anyone new who's tuning in, the teams, when they play, they can communicate with their teammates. Or they can choose not to if they really want, but they can communicate, which is why we see some players physically getting together to sit in the same room. They're allowed to be on Skype, for example, and talk to each other as well if they can't quite get to each other. So it's a fully team effort, these matchups.
If they, of course, want to, because we have seen in the past teams that are really not good in communications. Like an example, Sweden. With players like Skaka, they rather would just play on their own, make the decision on their own, than just getting distracted by other players, right? So it's a matter of choice. How do you want to proceed with this? So far, we have seen teams that just cooperative with each other. I wonder how it will look in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Skaka's kind of a rare case in that when he wants to focus and play the game, he has no music on, no nothing. He just sits. No distractions, and just plays Hearthstone. That's all he does, 100% focus. So we'll see how that comes into it when we can check out Team Sweden, which is almost Team Alliance plus show, pretty much. So we'll check how that goes later on. But for now, I'm looking forward to this one. Greece has always been a strong Hearthstone region with players, but other than say Likeabawse and his HCT performance, the players have never really made it onto the world stage in a super impactful way.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, I feel like I would say Greece is a grassroots country when it comes to the community, right? Very strong fireside gatherings presence, a lot of local communities, just tournaments, small tournaments, you know, with few people, but actually very active people, and that's awesome to see from communities all over the world. We have talked about Germany and Czech Republic, an example, right? They have strong communities and really well built, but at the same time, other countries are just trying that on their own. And I feel like this tournament will also rekindle that in some countries, or just initiate that community side in their own countries.
If
right?
you're ever going to get together and watch some Hearthstone, it's going to be to actually support your country, right? You know, it's generally what happens in terms of country-based competition. And we are ready now to, once we've sorted this out, to get into the first game.
Oh, man.
This is going to be DDaHyoNi versus Logan. The cameras are actually the wrong way around. That is not DDaHyoNi at the top, and that is definitely not Logan at the bottom. So we will get that fixed very soon. But it is DDaHyoNi on the Priest, right? So
yes.
DDaHyoNi is on the top. It's just the camera's the wrong way around, guys. We'll fix it. But yeah, this already looks... This is strange.
Is it? I mean, it's Purify Priest.
Well, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to
We
highlight.
talked about it in the previous hours of the broadcast, because it seems like Purify actually made into a competitive deck on its own. And this deck plays cards like Humongous Razor Leaf, which is the new 3/8 drop.
Yes, that can't attack, which is where the Purify comes in to silence that naughty card text off so you can actually get in. But we are going into it now. Logan on the bottom playing the Time Warp Mage, so we do get to see this secret in play to gain an extra turn, whereas DDaHyoNi is going to just play out the Priest and start to go a little bit heavy. We see Inner Fire. No surprise to see that card, plus Divine Spirit. There are a lot of high health minions in the deck. You can just kill someone very quickly with this deck, depending on the draw.
Well, it can go to, like, the Humongous Razorleaf can easily go to 20 damage in just one turn.
Yep.
From 8 HP to 16, and with Power Ward Shield it's just 20 after you double it, right? So that is actually an insane amount of damage.
And also you can do silly things like double Divine Spirit and then you just OTK, which is kind of nuts, guys, kind of nuts. Although the stars do have to align for that to work out, but that's kind of what the deck does. We see a lot of card draw for DDaHyoNi now. It does have the Cleric onto the board, Power Word Shield, and an Acolyte of Pain available. And we see, this is the drawback of quests. You pretty much just always pass turn 1. You cannot really interact.
That's true, but at the same time, it feels like Logan would actually play the quest this turn 1 anyway, because sometimes you just play Babbling Book on turn 1, but when your opponent played a Cleric and just can attack into it,
quest. Yeah,
then it's not really a waste here in this scenario, because otherwise it would just pass. You would just not play the Babbling Book, most likely. You don't want to give a Priest draw on turn 2, because historically speaking, Priests have usually the turn 2 very weak.
Yeah,
they either use the Hero Power or just don't do anything.
Yeah. There's the Elemental now, which is
true.
really nice. And now we've got the cameras fixed for you guys. We can see the lovely faces of Logan, DDaHyoNi, and Handsomeguy over his shoulder. And Shadow Vision's in hand. Absolutely amazing card. It discovers a spell from your deck. Very powerful, so you can get into these things where you have, even more Divine Spirits, even more Power Word Shields.
Oh, even
you
more
should be allowed.
Dragonfire Potions when you need them, right?
Exactly, yeah.
An additional copy of Shadow Word Death. You can think about Shadow Vision as a tutor for a specific card in your deck. So if you didn't draw both copies of that spell, you have actually a huge chance to actually get what you want.
Yeah, it's really nice. It doesn't reduce it or anything like the Primordial Glyph for Mage does, but it's just way more accurate, and sometimes getting that one extra spell changes the game completely. DDaHyoNi has the option now to just trade heal if he really wants, or just get that Acolyte down for even more card draw.
I like the Acolyte more because you just want to use the mana efficiently and also have the Acolyte of Pain already on board to, an example, buff it with a couple Talon Priests that you can top deck from the deck. You can use Power Word Shields if you top deck from the deck. So you just want to have that Acolyte already on board to make it a threat if you just use the Inner Fire combo, an example as well, right?
Yeah, this is what's I think the scariest thing about this Priest deck is you can just die. Like, the Priest can almost build a threat out of nothing. You know, like any minion, like you said, suddenly Powered Shield, Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, boom, 8 damage, or even 9 damage, and that's even at the minimal amounts, you know what I mean? Like, you can just OTK sometimes with this deck. There are cards that will help, though, as the deck is reliant on minion damage, which means, Logan's Blizzard, the Frost Bolts, etc. are going to help just... If someone, if DDaHyoNi commits to like a Divine Spirit in a Fire, Frostbolt, then Blizzard, then you just can't attack, right? Because if you silence it to attack, you lose the buffs as well. That's so, definitely something to consider. Logan does have options and does have Likeabawse with him over his shoulder as well. Cone of Cold, again, a good pick.
Very helpful. Very helpful here. Although the version of... I have seen multiple versions of the Open the Waygate mage, and most of them are not running Flame Strikes, and there's only one copy of Blizzard. So having that Blizzard already in hand is very impactful. Look at that. There's the Talon Priest already in hand, so that Acolyte of Pain would actually make a huge difference.
The Cleric can just become an 8/8 this turn.
Do you want to make that? I mean, you also can draw cards.
It's an 8/8 though, Luther. I'm okay with an 8/8 against like a freestyle Priest. This is what I mean. Like, what started off as a 1/3, obviously it's a Powered Shield, but can just suddenly become a Mountain Giant that draws a card when healed. Like, it's crazy that the threats just come out of nowhere. This Cone of Cold going to be very, very useful for Logan here.
He can chain Cone of Cold into Coin Blizzard, deal 3 damage to all the minions, although they can heal. But in this case, within this Priest, I don't think there's a Circle of Healing in that deck.
Oh, there's an Nova though. I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I'll have to admit, I'm not. Silence Priest is not a deck I've played a lot of yet. I've played against it a fair few times, but the amount of different builds we've seen already, from this tournament in just one match means that truly anything could happen.
And that's interesting that Logan didn't opt to use the Cone of Cold at all. He's okay with getting 9 damage to the face.
Look how much the guys are laughing like down. He's like, I just got him for 8.
Yeah,
and now
and
I've just made another 8/8.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't anticipate that. I thought that if I would be the priest in this case, I would have perceived the situation as, yes, I'm going to deal 8 damage, and then I put my opponent into a situation where he needs to use the burn to deal with that.
Yeah. Or some kind of stall, right? He needs to do something. But, Logan decided to dig a little deeper, and sometimes that is the right play. Freeze Mage, although this deck isn't Freeze Mage, it's close. It's very akin to, I can take X damage for 1 more turn. And then I'll, change stalls. Because now, look, double Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, Blizzard. Like, Logan can just not allow DDaHyoNi to attack for the future. The foreseeable future.
3-4 turns, basically,
now.
now.
And that is many turns, Lothar. Like, 4 turns of your opponent not being able to attack you is kind of ridiculous.
That is true, especially when you face a priest which doesn't run any burn from the hand. Unless he runs Mind Blast, but that's not happening. So, small chance of just dying, even when you're like on 1 HP.
Yeah. And also, bear in mind
never mind.
Well, the minions cannot be silenced to attack, because if they do, they lose all of their power.
You have Talon Priest, which has 3 attacks. That's something. Imagine if Logan would actually be at 3, he would just die.
Maybe even Purify is good here. Purify, develop the Watcher.
I mean, develop the Watcher, Purify on it.
No, because you can silence the Watcher next turn.
Yeah, but
Purify draws you a card.
But you know your opponent will have more freeze effects.
Yeah, so you want to silence next turn.
Yeah, but if you want to get your opponent like, catch him off guard, you can use both silences next turn, deal 7 damage. If you draw additional way of dealing damage, you're able to kill him next turn.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see where he goes for.
Wow, the Dirty Rat in this deck is nuts as well, just because of the fact that you can actually get out the Sorcerer's Apprentice and kill it instantly. And you need the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
There's a Divine Spirit. And another Silence as well.
Well, Divine Spirit is not really helpful.
You just get
right
Silence and just silence this turn, and then double Silence next turn. Oh, no, sorry, he needs the 2 mana to play the Watcher, yeah. So now he can triple Silence if he really wants for a total of 8 damage. But, we'll see.
Well, he could have used one of the silence to just
he could have used actual silence and push for 3, yeah.
Yeah, push for 3, puts his opponent at 6, then he needs to freeze the board and develop a secret, so the only option would be Frost Nova.
I wonder.
And Logan didn't show the Frost Nova last turn because he coined out Cone of Cold.
Yeah.
Which is not, ideal since it actually damages the minions, so his opponent can heal. So it's not sold he didn't sold out the Frost Nova in his hand at all.
Yep. Yeah, this is very tricky for both players here, because there is still an opportunity that DDaHyoNi just gets frozen out of this game, like, completely. Because if, once the Ice Barrier comes down into Frost Nova, even if there's a silence, the Ice Barrier adds so much more health. There's still a large chance of drawing ice blocks, and then suddenly, Logan is kind of like ticking away on that secret as well. So I think it's on 3 already. So, and he's still got the Cone of Cold, to go up to 4 as well. So there's still opportunities for Logan to just bust out this game.
Oh, he was getting close to not play anything.
Okay, well, there's 7. 7 damage available. And the card draw. Oh.
Inner fight. Wait, is that lethal?
No. Because all the minions that he silences can do attacks.
He can silence, heal to 5.
That's 8. It's going to discover the options are Purify, Potion of Madness.
That's one additional
Does Potion of Madness get it him?
Wait, Powered Shield gets to 5 to 7. That's 7.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. He can shield.
But does he have enough mana to do that?
Silence.
He has lethal with Powered Shield, right?
I think so.
Powered Shield on the Ancient Watcher. No, you can't do that. You need to heal first.
You silence.
That's silence first. And then you have 2, 4... 3. Yeah, it should be doable, right? If I'm not mistaken, you play first silence on the Ancient Watcher, then you heal it, then you Powered Shield, then you Inner Fire, then you silence Talon Priest, and that's...
No, you can't do all of that. You can't heal it as well.
Ah, damn. 1 mana close. 1 more shot.
Okay, it's just gonna basically just say, okay, next turn I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, was there ever a point to save the power
Not
shield there so you could silence again? If it gets frozen? It's easy for us to say because we can see all the freezes, but you know, if so far you've seen like the Blizzard, you're probably expecting this kind of stall version as opposed to any kind of I think most versions that try to OTK run so many freezes anyway. So we'll see how it plays out here. DDaHyoNi still has a few options. The Potion of Madness could be nice for an extra 1 damage if these minions stick to the board. Logan might be better off trading them away actually if he's ever even thinks about Potion of Madness as a card.
Usually you don't think about Potion of Madness when you play against a priest.
Second
because
you don't think about it, it happens and you lose.
Yeah.
That's the worry.
you lose a minion with Death Rattle, and you're like, oh my god, I just lost a card,
Oh, you
or
just
the
die?
Death Rattle effect, yeah. So, in this case, Ice Barrier, I think like you need to play the Ice Barrier this turn, just to play around another way of silencing your... I mean, you know that your opponent is running a lot of silences, right? Has to be the case.
Yeah. So now that's just the secret is Ice Barrier, so not going to be
Divine Spirit. He has Divine Spirit and Inner Fire.
This gets very tricky because every single time DDaHyoNi wants to try and set up lethal here over the past couple of turns, he's had to like stall and stall and stall and not quite get it. And I think he has to just buy time again.
So if he uses Silence right now, the Ancient Water gets to 4/5. Plays around a random secret, I guess.
He could do, yeah. Although he saw the Cone of Colds were discovered, right? Not discovered, but were from random effects. So if he's keeping count of the amount of effects that happen, he's just got to test for the secret though. Ice Barrier's proc. So now DDaHyoNi knows exactly what he needs to do.
So he has 10 damage. Can he do any more? Did he just miscount?
He's just gonna hit him. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
You can only freeze me for so long, friend.
But I think he gonna miscount it because he was pointing out the heal on the Ancient Water. So he silenced and then he pointed out the heal. He thought he can actually heal it back to 7 after he silenced, you know?
Yeah.
Because that would have been lethal.
Yep. Archaeologist. Gonna pull out the Ice Block, no doubt. Yep, there we go. So there's one more turn for Logan. The power of that card is absolutely huge.
No more silences for DDaHyoNi, but well, that's actually a big deal. No more silences in his hand will not help him with attacking after the freezes, and Logan can now still has 2 turns to just heal. Sorry, not heal, to
get to the quest.
Yeah, to freeze the board and just get the parts that he needs. Cold Light Oracle is actually pretty helpful as well here. What do you think about? No, you need to develop the first block. The ice block. I just was thinking about Frost Nova, Cold Light Oracle, to get the pieces out as soon as possible, because maybe you can just finish off the game without having Ice Block.
I think you might just get Nova'd. That's the problem. You could just die to Nova. That's
true.
You don't want to throw a game because you were too this extra greedy, right? Like if they just have Nova, game, like that's it. And Logan said done for the day to a certain extent. But DDaHyoNi now is just gonna, after this freeze, just gonna heal up, continue drawing more cards, trying to get more options. And also
there's a Silicon healing. All right.
I mean, okay. Oh, you can pro the block.
That's actually amazing. That is actually amazing.
Potion of Madness, get him! So there's a block proc, and now it is no more options available yet for Logan. A lot of card draw, and one Frost Nova left, but is that going to be enough?
He also draws 2 cards right now. Divine Spirit and another Dirty Rat. Silence. Well, shouldn't he do that first if he was planning on doing it?
It's fine, it just procs the block, right? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, oh, look at that. Second Ice Block.
So now you Ice Block and Nova, right? You have to draw?
Cold
Light,
well,
Ice
right?
Block, draw. Yeah. Will it overdraw as well? 3...
It will overload his opponent by 1.
It won't.
3,
So go
6.
to
Oh,
10.
it's 7. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
go to
mind.
10.
But it's 8.
Yeah. Even oh my god, look how weird this deck looks from Downey. You know, like his hand looks crazy, but he's actually, you know, getting the work done. Minions are pretty much immortal to a certain extent in terms of how awkward they are to deal with, especially for Logan's deck here. Finally, a Doomsayer, but even with silence in hand, there's just no real fear.
Yeah.
He's gonna try and mill him.
Well, there's actually no more cards for the priest.
Yeah, Downey just drew approximately 1,000 cards. Ooh, Shadow Visions. Well,
Well, it was pointless.
It's just Shadow Visions,
Yeah.
Shadow Visions, and Shadow Visions. Yeah, so that is all of his cards.
No,
gone.
it doesn't work this way, right? When your
Oh,
the deck
it
is
was the
empty.
last card, right? Yeah. So yeah, that would have been the Ice Block proc now, and now it's all on Logan. No more defensive options really, apart from that Frost Nova, and he will know there are still silences left.
So is there a way for Logan to actually win the game? If he draws Molten Reflection, it's still not enough. He would have to get card draw, and that's GG, basically. No more way of OTKing if your opponent will just kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that's most likely happening this turn.
Looks like Downey's going to use the silence, of course. So, although Purify hurts you, right? You draw 1 card, which is 1 fatigue.
But your opponent is able to deal 18 damage.
But the problem is, you can't purify your opponent's minion, as we well know. So silence is actually just more powerful to be able to silence out an opponent's minion or your own. So we'll see how this goes now. Being full attacks here for Downey, being able to prot the block, and all on Logan to do something quite spectacular here.
Without the second Sorcerer's Apprentice, I think that's GG. Well, obviously he doesn't know it, but he can assume that in those 9 cards left in his opponent's hand, there will be at least 1 silence effect.
You would imagine so. He's not even draw.
Kabbalist Tome.
Not gonna help.
1 mana card that can help you in this situation. Not really happening. So it has to be Doomsayer Frost Nova. And that's about
Cross the fingers. Hope for the
Well,
best.
wait. Can he get a spell that will chain a reaction to overdraw him and kill him with fatigue? Because heal all minions from Kabbalist
I
Tome?
don't think so. Because they're class specific, right?
Too bad.
There's 1 fatigue for Downey, but it is not going to matter. He's even going to silence. Okay, the plant. That was his weapon of choice. He was like, what do I want to kill my opponent with? And it is the huge carnivorous plant indeed. So
Humongous Razor Leaf actually finishes up the game.
yeah, it's actually amazing. We see Purify Priest brought to a tournament by one of Korea's top players, and it winning. Most importantly, Downey is victorious for South Korea, going 1-0 up over Greece. And there's Handsomeguy. He's going to be playing later, who's sat over his shoulder there, ready and waiting for the next game. And that was a crazy game. We saw OTK Mage versus Purify Priest. What is this meta?
I really love it. The fact that we have so much different decks, right? The priest can. We already have seen Dragon Priest today. Well, a different Dragon Priest that we're used to. Then we have seen the Purify Priest. We can still see Miracle Priest, an example. Then we go to the other side of the table, and we had Open the Waygate Mage. We had the Elemental Temple Mage. So much diversity right now in the fresh metagame. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. That is just game 1 of Korea versus Greece as well. So that's going to be awesome to continue. We can check out how it looks so far. We have Likeabawse for Greece versus Flurry, who's bringing a Hunter versus Likeabawse's Warrior. Very nice pick. If this warrior is Taunt Warrior, Hunter generally has a very good matchup, in my experience at least, as you can just apply so much heavy pressure. Your death rattles are a real pain to deal with as well, and the fact that you can just generate additional beasts as well with Macaws, for example, you can get so much more value. It does depend on the Hunter build though, definitely, so we'll see how that works out.
Well, I love the mid-range Hunters with the Hydra as well, with the new 8/8 drop for 5 mana. It's actually so huge. It destroys every single taunt that the warrior can play, and just go through that. The damage on your own face doesn't really matter.
Hunter doesn't care about its own life,
You just want to finish the game before your opponent can kill you, and that means the any big creature that will just help out clearing out the taunts is super valuable. Imagine the curve. Just you play Beast Macau on 1, Crackling Resomon on 2, turn 3, whatever. turn 4 Handmaster on
Turn
a
3,
beast.
one of the many turn 3 options.
Well, you have a lot of
yeah.
like 3 mana drop is like the most common spot for hunters. There's so many useful cards that you can play on turn 3. Turn 4 Handmaster, turn 5 Hydra, turn 6 7 High Main. How do you deal with that?
You don't. That's the answer.
It's really tough. It's really tough.
But yeah, and we even saw some players actually bringing cards like Hunter's Mark into the list. We saw, I think Camlin was playing it in Throne of Cards, because that just also deals with a lot of the Taunt Warrior issues.
Yep.
They put up like Primordial Drake. Oh, that's a lot of health. Oh wait, now it's 1. You know, it's really good. So we'll see how that plays out now. We can see the players getting ready. Likeabawse was sat with Logan, so he's got Logan next to him anyway. Flurry there chilling. Flurry actually has some great achievements in the OGN Hearthstone Masters as well, which is the Korean sort of biggest tournament over there, tournament circuit. He's very good. And he very narrowly missed out in HCT last year. He was just he lost to Yulsik in the semi-finals to be able to make it through to BlizzCon actually. So he came very, very close.
That's painful, man.
Yeah.
Being so close to like such a huge goal, it always leaves you hanging in a spot when you want to prove again that you're a really good player, right? So in this case, they are playing as a team, but I feel like every single player wants to prove that they are a good player, they're a good deck builder. They want to get that, going for them.
Well, like I said, even though it's a team and the teams can work together in terms of communication, the player who is like on the screen, the name on the screen, is the player piloting that deck.
Yeah.
Right. So they can still either mess up or do well. There are a lot of decisions that end up being the pilot's decision, 100%, or snap calls. Like that is on you. And like you said, you either use the time to shine, or you have potentially letting the team down a little bit, which could be a problem. So,
not only the team down, but also the entire country.
The entire population of the country, which is definitely a lot of pressure for these players as we get into the first game. Flurry versus Likeabawse.
Oh, look at that.
Pirate Warrior. Okay, things change now. This can actually be pretty tough for the Hunter, because although they have a lot of early game, their early game is nowhere near as good as the Pirate early game, mainly because of Fiery War Axe.
And because of patches as well. You lose one card that is actually very impactful in the world of 1-drops, and in this case, that Makar doesn't have the synergy with the Crackling Razormaw anymore, because it just dies, and you can't adapt. Imagine if that Razormaw comes down, gets the adapt on the Jeweled Makar, gets the plants out of it, trades in, you get additional 2 minions that allows you to trade with another pirates, which is actually super impactful. In this case, he's not able to do that anymore.
Yeah, really nice pick here. Likeabawse on the, I think at least, on the better end of the matchup here. And like I said, Jewel Makar, even like +3 attack can be nice, but not if it's just dead, right? That's the issue. Answering the 1-drop is kind of huge, but never mind. Oh my god, I told you I love South Korea as a team.
And we have the
Golaka Crawler. Get wrecked, pirates.
Well, sometimes it's not enough, even when you play it on turn 2, or you just kill.
It's the return of the Totem Golem.
Yeah. But we have also the Turtledex Hatchling, which is a 3-mana 2/2 minion just adapt.
Yeah.
So it can be a 5/2, it can be a 2/5, it can be poisonous, it can have a taunt. It's actually not a bad minion in this situation. If it has a taunt, it actually soaks up maybe 5 damage from an Arcanine Reaper.
To be honest, against pirates, if it soaks up any damage, I'm happy. But yeah, we can see Knuckles as well, which is kind of great to just see in a deck. Flurry already, there you go, head in hands, sat back. Okay, it's Pirate Warrior, and Likeabawse, it's almost like they can see each other. Is that like Flurry was like, oh god, pirates, okay, and then Likeabawse is like, yeah, it's pirates, but now Mega Crab. The Galactic Crawler gonna eat up the deckhand there and actually just be pretty okay with life at this point.
That is true.
Pretty far on the board. Fireworks doesn't trade into it unless Fireworks coin upgrade.
I like that.
Which, yeah, you might have to do.
I like it because it just puts another really impactful weapon on the board. It's 8 damage to the face. Still good.
I love Flurry. He was actually my pick for winter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was one for the APAC region to get through. Yeah, Flurry was actually my pick. He didn't quite make it, but I do love the guy.
Imagine the game without that upgrade here on the Warx. What was it? Divine Shield.
Nice.
Not
That's
bad.
good.
Not bad.
Build your own mini-bot.
Cool.
1 mana off now because the coin was used for the upgrade. Cannot put out the deckhand and the cultist. I would... This is a weird turn as well. You can deckhand trade to kill off the minion, because the problem is it's a beast and you go into turn 4. What if there's Houndmaster? 4/4 Divine Shield against Pirate Warrior? Taunt? I'll take it.
Really bad, yeah?
Yeah, I'll take it. So
I mean, it's not even Houndmaster. It can be Crackling Razormaw as well.
yeah, there are options, but so there's the double trade, although it feels to 6 damage into a 2/2. It feels horrendous. Or, you can just drop the Bloodsail Cultist this turn and just say, look, you probably can't kill it, but you might be able to, because as he said, Razormaw changes everything. Poisonous.
Poisonous
attack.
plus free attack, right?
Yeah. Wind Fury.
Well, then you die. Then your own minion dies,
still
but
trade
still,
up.
yeah, but it's still fine. It's a free drop against a free drop, so it's like it's an even case.
And you gain the momentum, right?
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like Hunters outvalues the minions of the Pirate Warrior, so only the weapons can bring the warrior back into the game.
Oh, it actually looks like a
Oh,
boss
man.
has found a third line. Just going to go for the hero power instead. This means that he is going to save up that deckhand to proc an additional durability on the weapon.
So he just wants to make his own
here we
Arcana
go.
Reaper.
So it's poisonous, can't be targeted, and summon 2 plants.
Feels like Poisonous might be the most impactful here.
Yeah, with the Divine Shield. I was thinking, like, can't be targeted. Well, Divine Shield, it's kind of fine. Warrior kind of deals with things with direct attacks anyway. So, yeah, Poisonous. And now a Hyena. Where does Likeabawse even look at this point? You know, like, the Poisonous minion is a nightmare. The Hyena is also a nightmare. What do you kill?
Well, you need to kill the Hyena as soon as possible, so I'm guessing
You sacrifice the Cultist.
the deckhand will just be enough here, right? It will have charge. You play deckhand, you play the cultist, you charge the deckhand into the Hyena, then you kill Crackling Razormaw.
But then the Cultist just dies.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you still have a 5/1 weapon.
Yeah.
And you know that you still have second Fear War Axe with the Nagakosa, so that's 8 damage. The problem is that the Hunter just kind of slowly grinds you
one
out.
step
Yeah.
ahead, isn't it? It's just edging forward every single turn. And look, this is super awkward. And in this, you know, I said at the start I felt Pirate Warrior could do well versus Hunter, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. It's not a matchup I've played tons of, to be completely honest. But this is not the most standard of Hunter decks. There is Knuckles staring at us in the hand there, which is great. But yeah, Razormaw, something I will say, Razormaw is just super powerful. Probably, or at least one of the most powerful cards in the set, in my opinion.
Especially because it comes down in the game like so fast, right?
Oh, I want to see Likeabawse's face. Yes!
Oh my god!
He's just like, he almost got up and walked away. He was like, no, I'm not playing a game where Knuckles is involved.
And
This
it
makes
doesn't
no sense.
die. Look at that.
Oh, it's against pirates.
It's
You
awesome.
kill the minion and hit face at the same time.
Wow. Knuckles making an impact. It has 7 HP, which is a huge difference for the Fury War Axe, because even if it gets buffed by Nagakosa, it's still outside the range.
You got to think about it as well. Wind Fury, you know, adapts. Wind Fury, Taunt, Divine Shield. Like, imagine Wind Fury. You do 6 damage if you trade into 2 minions. 6 damage to face.
Yeah. You buy so much board control and still
And
like,
just Handmaster.
man, nuts.
Okay,
Knuckles-
I'm gonna go home and craft Knuckles.
Well, I have 2 decks that I really want to play when I'm gonna get back to the hotel. One will be Stan Sivka's Warlock,
Yeah.
and second one will be Knuckles.
And the second one will just be a Hunter deck with Knuckles in it. Perfect. And now, Likeabawse, so many awkward decisions. He has so many minions available, but there's still the Poisonous Beast on the board. Any minion he plays, unless he trades into it, of course, dies. But the problem is if he trades into it, he's putting 5 damage into a 2/2. So he's just going to say, right, Smart Life. He does have Leroy and does have the second Fire War Axe for some damage, but you know what? Flurry has a lot of damage himself as well.
That's 10 damage this turn, but he goes for the Macaw first to see the drop, and it might be...
Hydra? Ooh.
Oh, well, it's Emerald Hive Queen.
You don't want to play that yet.
Yeah, you might
Well,
probably
you can
just...
play it with Soul Hand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Apart from Kill Command, of course.
Well, keep that, of course.
Yeah.
But, so the Poisonous Pterodax kills the Nagakosa, you deal 3 damage with Knuckles to the face, you develop 2 1-drops, and a weapon, so you deal additional 3 damage to the face as well. That's enough, right? You don't need anything else.
Yep.
Even if you draw a minion next turn, if it will be like Houndmaster, you're still able to play it for 6 mana with the Emerald Hive Queen here.
Yeah, and I think at this point as well, there was a question of whether you want to keep the Poisonous minion on the board and actually just Kill Command the Corsair.
Okay.
But then you run out of value, right? Because Pirate Warrior specifically can just burst you, so you don't care about having a 2/2 available. If this was
Yeah.
Taunt Warrior and you could kill a Taunt and not use the 2/2, then you might. But you want to save the kill command to basically win the race at this point.
So it's a 6, 10, 16 damage right now in the hand from Likeabawse. He still needs a second heroic strike.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, this is looking grim. Knuckles Hunter beating up Pirate Warrior. Who would have thought it? Only here at HGG.
No Handmaster. That's not really impactful at all. So we have 3, 5, 6, 8, 11. Yep, 16, 18 damage. Not enough.
Yeah, that's definitely a whiff for Flurry, and that's when you kind of get a little bit afraid.
Yes, because now there's 1 out left for Likeabawse, and it's the second copy of Heroic Strike with 20 cards left in the deck. Sorry, no.
There you go.
19.
Likeabawse is telling us there's 1 out. Likeabawse is a very, visual player. He gets super emotional. He plays for his family. We saw this out from HGT last year. Super nice, super cool guy, but he gets very invested in the game, and you see that in his actions. And it's all on the Heroic Strike. That is not a Heroic Strike, and that's going to be very difficult to deal with.
And a conscious choice for Flurry to not use the hero power while he had free mana, because that puts the Mortal Strike in range, so that will be 6 damage. And that will actually make it lethal with Heroic Strike as well, instead of the Leroy.
Oh, yeah.
So he cut the chances of dying for another
if he had the
combination.
Heroic Strike and the Mortal Strike, yeah. And what this does as well is Flurry just has lethal, unless something crazy happens.
Yeah. So now Likeabawse thinks about what to do, I think, or he just sipping.
Yeah, he's just going to finish his drink before he finishes up. It's fine.
So, well, can he do anything? Or is he just messing with us?
Well, what's funny is Knuckles provides a lot of damage. Well, a lot, 3. Looks a lot on the board. But like, he can't Heroic Strike Knuckles down. And then anything else he kills are pretty much 1 or 2 attack minions. All the power is coming from the weapon and the kill command we can see in hand. He doesn't know there's a kill command there, of course, but he's just setting it up, doing what he can do, going for it.
Well, it's one of lethal, right now, on board. 3, 6, 8, 9, 11.
14, yeah.
Yeah, it's 14.
So kill command is going to even pretty much end this game. Oh, Kodo as well. Good to know.
Well,
to know as I try and copy Flurry's deck list.
Look at that. It was actually pretty close to not win this game. Without the kill command, he wouldn't be able to do that. Also, because of the fact that he didn't hero power last turn, to just play around the Mortal Strike.
If he didn't have kill command, he would have hero powered. Yeah. But that is going to be it. Flurry takes game 2 of South Korea versus Greece. Yeah. South Korea is like my pick. So we'll tell you about this as we cast and as we go on. We were asked to pick some countries that we wanted to country that we wanted to support that wasn't our home country. So I couldn't pick UK, for example. I was just like straight away South Korea, easiest pick of my life. And so far they are not letting me down. They are 2-0 up over Greece.
Mine was Ukraine, by the way.
Went for one of the easy ones. But yeah, what a match so far. Like, these deck lists are crazy. We're seeing Silence Priest, Purified Priest, sorry, from DDaHyoNi. And then we see Flurry bring in Hunter, which looks regular-ish. The idea of Hunter is pretty straightforward, whichever way you chop it. But, Knuckles and a Kodo as well just proves that there's some sort of, anti... You know what? Kodo is actually good against the Armor Smiths and Bloodtooth Braves from Taunt Warrior. So, cool deck building ideas, and I expect nothing less, one from South Korea, but also just from everyone in general as we step forward through this expansion. The next matchup that's going to be Handsomeguy, multiple-time HCT Championship winner versus Tsibou from Greece on the Shaman, and Handsomeguy on the Druid.
Wow.
Ooh, first Druid of the day.
So, one thing that I just wanted to add about the game that we just saw, because still, I don't need to add that. The Golaka Crawler actually saved 2 damage.
Yep.
And that was enough to not die in the final turn. But now let's go to the Druid. We have basically 2 archetypes of Druid that are playable right now. That will be the Aggro Druid, which is very explosive, but can whiff as well. Because it has just a plethora of 1-drops, living mana as well, which we kind of like during evaluation of cards. It was really tough to say if this card gonna be playable or not, right? It's such a weird effect.
It felt good, but you didn't know how strong the deck as a whole was going to be, right? Exactly. I think that's the key. You can see the players just getting ready as well. Handsomeguy and DDaHyoNi just swap places, like, put me in, coach.
All right, and the second archetype of the Druid is the, let's say, Ramp Druid without the quest. So it plays 5 attack minions, but it doesn't play the quest, because usually when you had played like 5 minions with 5 attack while playing Druid, you probably will win. so it doesn't need to have the quest.
There's also a third archetype, and it's one you may have heard of. It's called Jade Druid. Fino and Ladder has been doing very well with it. LVG has actually brought it to China Championships.
All right.
So it's a Jade Druid. There's a couple of new cards in there, but predominantly it's Jade Druid. So there's still a chance that it could be good old Jade. So I know everyone loves Jade Druid and everyone loves watching it.
Especially me.
Yeah, especially Lothar next to me. Absolutely loves Jade Druid. It's his true passion. His favourite colour is green. And yeah, so there is a chance we might see the Jade Druid come out to play. And the Shaman, we've only seen Elemental. So far,
Yes.
Variances on Elemental, like double Volcano was super cool to see from Czech Republic. From what we saw of the Philippines team, seems fairly standard, fairly straightforward, which is what you feel an Elemental deck kind of is, at least in Shaman. But yeah, we might see something else out of Greece.
Well, we might still see like an aggressive Shaman, right? Didn't really lose. I mean, they did lose Trog, an example, but there's still a lot of very powerful one-drops. Like Glacier Shard is actually, when you think about it, a very powerful minion. It deals additional damage because it freezes out weapons out of the opponents, right? So it's pretty
really strong tempo card.
Yeah,
we saw that earlier on, right? You just freeze the Mana Worm on turn 1. You suddenly the Mana Worm just skips a turn. Like, okay, gives me an additional turn to develop.
And then buys a hero power from the mage on turn 3, which is super awkward. For the mage. So
we are getting into it, and Handsomeguy is actually rocking the aggro/token druid by the looks of things, and Tsibou is, probably not Jade Shaman. This just looks like the Shaman everyone else is running with the early Shaman with a few Jade cards in it. Jade Lightning, Jade Claws, and Aya are the main ones. Eggnapper. Oh my. Okay. So, Genzo is one of my favorite cards, even though no one plays him. Handsomeguy is now my favorite player ever because I bought many packs just to get the dust to craft Golden Genzo. I have him on my collection because look at him, he's holding Hearthstone cards.
Well,
he's insane. Oh my god, Handsomeguy, my hero.
So he's the guy that plays ladder every single month on every single server to get all the card backs.
Yep. Exactly.
And then buys, every single pre-order, limited editions of Overwatch.
Yeah, Genzo doesn't mess around. Genzo is a pretty legit Hearthstone player. I've played him a few times. Good friend of mine. Like I said, have him in gold. But in general, Handsomeguy is running the overall sort of token aggro deck. We see the Ravasar run, the Eggnapper as well, which is another... The art in this expansion is ridiculous.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh.
Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst, Master Portal, Pharaoh Spirit. That screams either control or aggro.
Yeah.
Because Lava Burst is still a good card for control decks. It's just a good removal. 5 damage. I mean, it gives you the overload, but it can still be used as a control tool or just a finisher.
Yeah, there is, I believe LVGE that I was talking about earlier as well is actually bringing an aggro Shaman list to the China Championships as well. So there is a chance that this is a very similar list.
All right, let's see what's happening for Handsomeguy. He has the coin, but the Rant without 2 minions already on board is not really good options. I'm guessing he will just want to play Eggnapper on turn 2. Oh, wait, what?
Sometimes you just got to get something on the board if you're the aggro deck, right? Even if it's not great. Gonna go for the coin.
That's very interesting. So he wants to play Mark of Shah on the next turn, get a draw, get a 4/4 beast on the board, deal some damage. But this will not get anywhere with, well, Tsibou's answer, right?
I mean, if he wants to lightning bolt it.
Well, he can just trade deck and... Oh, no, he has no weapon.
It's not a weapon. Yeah, that's what I mean. So now the question is, well, how afraid are you? So an idea against token, or any token deck, really, any aggro token deck, is that you just kill everything at all cost. Do not let them buff stuff, right? But... One, is Tsibou going to be, that has he played this against this deck much? 2, is he going to feel the need to just kill a 2/2 that should be more because it lost its adaptability because there are no other minions on board? Maybe he thinks it's okay because the hand is so bad. But my worry is when a druid like this doesn't have a good 1-drop or a good 2-drop, probably means they've got buffs in hand. Like that, I think that's a pretty fair nod. So I would be worried, but we'll see if Tsibou has any ideas of his own here. If he lightning bolts, it locks out his Feral Spirit next turn, which is very important as well.
That's true, but he's going for the lightning bolt, and
discipline.
And look at the Handsomeguy face. He's like, oh no, lightning bolt! I didn't anticipate that. Like no one uses lightning bolts nowadays, right?
Oh, but he got me to throw onto the board. Very enchanting Raven indeed. Which is not perfect, but you can just refill the board with a 2/2. It's better than hero parrying this turn, as this asks another question of Tsibou. And now Tsibou's suffering from the Lothar affliction of drawing patches every single game, as Lothar's managed to draw patches 12 out of 15 games that we were watching yesterday or something like that.
Yeah, it was quite horrendous.
It was actually a ludicrous number of times.
I can empathize with Tsibou right now. This is a horrible feeling. And now this doesn't look great at all.
Well, now he can't clear.
Can he just commit with the Maelstrom portal? I think he has to, right? He just deals 1 damage, gets one minion on.
Maelstrom against tokens.
But those tokens will be huge. They will not die.
That's why you roll spell
portal.
damage, don't.
Ah, all right.
Monologue.
Now I know.
Have you never played Shaman before? It's two mana spell damage to him.
Well, you can just play Wild with Justica Trueheart and just pick
That's true.
that totem every single time and get that Maelstrom portal to +4. All right, what does he do?
This is from turn 1. Tsibou's had some awkward plays here. And the problem is Handsomeguy is just going to rock Eggnapper next turn, probably. And then start to really stack up the board. He's going to hold back. I told you. He's going to hold back and just go for the totem this turn.
Oh, all right. Well, this is a fantastic draw. You might actually think, when you saw the Lightning Bolt, you might actually think your opponent might be playing Hex, but at the same time, if he's like pure aggro deck, he will not be playing Hex at all.
Yep.
So, Eggnapper into Innervate Mark is actually good spot here. Then you trade the Enchanted Raven on the totem. You can't leave that around when you know that the opponent's actually running a lot of spells.
Yep.
So having an Eggnapper that's a 5/3, I think it's better than a 4/4 Raven, because it doesn't die to
Eggnapper's not a beast.
Simple. All right.
No, that's the thing. Eggnapper, I'm pretty certain, is not in fact a beast.
Well, he does look like a turtle, right? But it's a Tortulan.
Yeah, Tortolan. Yeah. So I think he's actually classed as humanoid, even though that's not a tribe, of course.
Well, you can still play the Mark of Show, just not draw a card, right?
Well, I was going to say, I think it's even fine on the Raven. If there's direct removal, right, then you get your Genzo is safe. Or, though, I was going to say this play, the other line is Innovate Genzo and Mark. The other problem with this is you are open to direct removal on Genzo, who could potentially be very valuable indeed.
And now it will eat the Likeabawse, right? You can't really allow this to live.
Tsibou's like, what does that card do again? Was Genzo in Ungaro? It's like, I've not seen that card. It's like, no, he wasn't. He's been here a while. Just waiting for his moment to shine, and Hearthstone Global Games is where that shining was happening.
Well, and Tsibou can't really allow that. This is just too much card advantage, too much damage. He needs to play
Genzo cannot attack.
Yeah.
Like, Genzo just cannot attack. It's
definitely when you know that your opponent is running a Druid that can empty his hand really fast. So that single attack from Genzo will actually buy so much damage for the Druid. It's probably game. One attack of Genzo might actually mean game here.
Yeah, I generally think this. I'm surprised Tsibou's taking this long over the over this turn, because you cannot allow Genzo to attack. The second Genzo attacks and gets any value, you're in trouble, because that value is instantly translated. It's not like Jeeves, where the draws happen after the turn. They happen on the turn.
Yeah.
So you just fill your hand and then start playing cards. So it is going to eat the Likeabawse. We do see Bloodsail Corsair come out, and then Handsomeguy.
No patches.
Yeah, that's probably what they said. I do not speak Korean, but not that we can hear them anyway. But lip reading, all I saw there was patches in hand.
They actually just raised in the chairs a little bit, you know?
Ooh.
All right. Eggnapper, anyway, you are right. This is a Tortulan. It's not a beast. It will not draw a card from Mark of Shar.
He's cheeky, though.
But in this case,
that smile.
Handsomeguy knows there's a patches in the hand, so it can trade with the Tortulan, with the Eggnapper, and then play Maelstrom Portal if needed. Then they will get another patches and trade into the Raven.
Ah, yeah, it's the old Maelstrom into patches play.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is reasonable, though, because that's a worst case, I would say. And if that happens, then the odds on the charge coming out are very slim. So your Raven is alive, and then you Mark of Yasharaj into a draw, right? So
true. But there's also a chance to just use Feral Spirits right now, because in theory it trades with both minions, and your opponent did use one Mark of Lotus already. So the other thing that can be played will be a Mark of Ashar, which usually is being played as a one-off in those decks, unless you're super heavy on beasts, then you play both copies.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very important for whatever Tsibou decides to do here. He needs the Flame Wreath down next turn. He can Feral Spirit and still Flame Wreath, of course, but he needs it. He needs something that is going to try and contest the race, basically, that is difficult for Handsomeguy to deal with. Again, we do not know deck lists. Deck lists are hidden from their opponents, from us, so there could be, you know, there could be naturalized in the deck for all we know. There probably isn't, but there could be. So, you know, getting the Flame Wreath down means that there's a big opportunity to be able to race here. And I think that's what Tsibou needs to do. Cleric, not too shabby at all, but Handsomeguy is going to be able to deal with this with a Mark of Yasharaj. Savage Draw, not what he's after. Definitely looking for a cheap one-drop here to get the runt out as well with the hero power, with the buff.
Did he get? Oh, there's an Ardent Squire. Perfect. Now the runt will actually get the adapt mechanic out.
Yeah. Probably wants to look at something like health, actually, because of that Savage Draw. You just want your board to stick, and then Savage Draw out.
Well, you can have Death Rattle with the plants as well.
True. And you've just seen Maelstrom, so it's reasonable.
What else can you get? I mean, attack is not that bad in general as well. If you don't have anything else, like the health...
Look, you're playing an aggressive deck, okay? Attack's always fancy.
Let's see. +1/+1, taunt, and stealth. Well, it seems like +1/+1 it is.
I think you just make it a 3/3. Yep.
Still a good minion.
Reasonable.
2 mana, 3/3. Would have played that, right? Yeah. Hammer of Twilight. Look at that. It's 10-5. For actually 6 for Tsibou.
He's got a sick turn. You can just hammer into deckhand, clear everything but the Squire. So then suddenly Tsibou's in a very nice spot. Handsomeguy on 0 cards, pretty much.
Yeah, and that deck doesn't really have a card draw apart from that Genzo, I'm guessing.
Genzo, Mark of Yasharaj, we've seen. Probably not, no. I think it might rely on a living mana. Not as card draw, but the fact that you don't have mana to play any cards anyway afterwards. So you kind of just use your 2/2s to just battle with the board, and then over the course of a turn or two, you've drawn enough cards to carry on again.
You know what's funny with living mana is that your opponent might actually not kill any minions, just not to give you mana for Savage Roar.
Yeah. Oh no, you always have 3, right? You can only put 7 minions on the board.
Well, that's when you, that's like 10-10.
Yeah. So he's going to clear up this. This is nice. This is opening up a huge turn next turn as his Flame Wreath Faceless into Feral Spirit. I think Tsibou has got this in the bag now. The stabilization has happened due to Handsomeguy just getting a Genzo cleared up so easily.
If that Lava Burst wouldn't be in the opening hand...
Oh man, game over.
Tsibou would have been just... Man, in a horrible position. What do you think about just Flame Wreath and Feral Spirits just right now?
Oh yeah, just chuck it on the board and race now. I wouldn't even mind face.
I wouldn't even, mind the Twilight Hammer to the face. You create a 4/2, which is basically like the swing of the weapon next turn.
This kind of aggressive deck from the Druid as well doesn't really run normally swipe Wrath. It doesn't, you know, maybe Living Roots, but oh, is Living Roots out now actually?
That's a good question.
I think. Someone tweet me, let me know. But yeah, so this deck doesn't normally run AoE. Not that Druid has great AoE anyway. So I think you just throw it all on the board, go wide, create the elemental, and push for a serious amount of damage. You can't do anything to these 1/1s anyway, right? The Divine Shields stop you interacting with them pretty much at all.
No, that's correct. Living Roots has to be out.
Tsibou's not with anyone in person by looks things, but definitely on a call with the team because he is he's blatantly talking to whoever to try and get some advice.
Maybe just speaking for himself. Some players do that. The thing is, like,
this is a lot of talking to yourself, though. I might check him out afterwards and just say, "Are you okay, Tsibou?" So Savage Draw is going to be the only option here to get through these Feral Spirits.
Well, you need to do that. You push with your face through one of those, then another one kills the second, and you go to the Shaman with 4 damage. Well, it's not a lot, but you don't really have any options.
Well, that's it. Handsomeguy is definitely playing off the top here, and the top is not treating him well.
He would need a Nourish, and there's nowhere in that deck that card. You just can't meet it.
I mean, you probably would have said Genzo wasn't in the deck as well, Lothar, so...
Yeah. Well, how can you dig yourself out of this? So he didn't want to play Mark of the Lotus, so...
You can still play it.
Yeah, but do you want to? I mean, you can't combine this with Living Mana, because it uses all the mana. Unless it's turn 8, and that's still Oh wait, that's
So you
actually
can
next
do it on
turn.
turn 8,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can do it on turn 8. Okay, so that actually makes
Playing
sense.
to the living mana out.
Yeah.
I say out. Living mana doesn't win you the game, but it's definitely a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Bitter Tired Hydra. Well, if 4 mana 7/7 wasn't enough, a 5 mana 8/8 could be, but not this turn.
Without overload.
Yeah,
Woo!
with no overload, but a definite drawback though when there's a lot of low attack minions on the board. But yeah, the not going to be down this turn due to the overload from the big Frail Spirit into Flamewreath Faceless. The previous turn, Golaka Crawler and Hero Power looks pretty straightforward to me.
You know what's funny now? That the 7/7 can actually think, do I trade here?
No, it doesn't. It hits
no,
face.
right?
It hits face every day.
The problem is that your opponent's deck is way more explosive than yours, at least at this point. Still, right? So even if you raise, that's 11 damage, and if you swing with the hammer, your elemental dies out of the Twilight Hammer because there are 2 1/1s that can trade into it. Unless you use with the hammer to kill the 1/1. Well, that clears it up. You go face in this case when you have a taunt totem on your side of the board.
Like I said, you can just sort of turn on the race at this point. So that's a lot of pressure now coming out from Tsibou.
And it's not living mana.
Whiff. We might even just see a concede at this point. This is going to be very, very, very difficult for Handsomeguy to carve himself out of this one, even as a druid.
Goes for the mark of the Lotus, so he wants to kill nothing.
Anything. But yeah, Bitter Tired Hydra is going to come down this turn, no doubt, from Tsibou. He's a bit of a smile on his face there, probably feeling confident. And as soon as this Hydra comes down, Handsomeguy might just call this one a day.
Oh, and a Flame Totem. He can play actually the entire hand and still totem up.
Yeah. The entire 2-card hand.
Oh, when you think about it, sometimes those cards are like 7-8 mana, so you can replay them. So Golaka Crawl goes into the Divine Shield. That's like 100%. Now you just have to think, do you want to use the 7/7 to clear up the Argent Squire or the other minion?
Probably the 7/7, right?
Probably.
Let's go wide on the board.
I mean,
you drop in a Hydra, you don't really care.
your opponent is not even running a
Oh
swamp.
no, you probably double trade, right? You just trade. You have Hydra. You just don't want minions to attack the Hydra.
Well, you tap first, you see what you get. That's 2/2 minion right now. 9 damage to the face with the Flame Totem. Seems like a good choice. I don't like this actually.
I just like it. The only way you can lose is if somehow like Handsomeguy gets 1,000,000 tokens and then hits the Hydra tons of times. You know, to kill Tsibou off through the Hydra effect, which if you don't know deals 3 damage to the hero if it takes any damage. So any 1-attack minions effectively deal 3 to the hero's face. So you know that's the only way you can really lose at this point. We see the second Defender of Argus picked up from Handsomeguy. Absolutely horrendous draw, though. It looks like those guys are happy. As long as they're having a good
Yeah, they're having fun. They're having fun definitely with this deck.
DDaHyoNi is probably saying like, God, Handsomeguy. why do you have to lose this game? We're supposed to win 3-0.
Yeah. They're still discussing.
They're like, so if I play Argus, it's a 2-3. If I don't play Argus, we probably die.
Might be the case, yes. So that's 15, 19, 23, 2 off. The hitter of the 10 damage. Sounds powerful.
Scary minion indeed. He has 3 heads, which means 3 bites, which means 10 damage with the Flame Tongue.
So each head deals 3.33.
Yeah. Really good.
And 0.1 is lost. I mean 0.01. Patches comes out, and it's still game.
Yeah, nothing you can do. They're just laughing. They're like, oh no, the Patches dies to the totem. He concedes. Handsomeguy is going to lose this game. Tsibou is going to put 1 point on the board for Greece and stop a complete clean sweep. So he's going to be happy there with the aggro shaman again. Yet another deck we have not really seen too commonly on ladder. Everyone's focusing on the elements mainly, but you know, Tsibou's like, I'm gonna do it the good old-fashioned way. I heard 4 mana 7/7s were good, and now I can put a 5 mana 8/8 in the deck. Sounds good to me.
You can't curve out all of them like both because you have Overload for 10-5 if you play the 7/7, but at the same time, it's more consistent, right? You want to put a big minion on 10-4-5, or like the mid-range, right? So when you have 4 copies of those, it's easier to do when you just only have the Flamer Faceless. Worth noting, Greece seems to be old school. They just play the last metagame.
Pirate Warrior, aggro shaman. Like, why not at this point? But yeah, that is going to be 2-1 for Korea still. So they're still ahead, and they need one more victory coming up. And it's going to be Kranich who's going to be trying to get him that victory next versus Dethelor coming up next. Kranich going for the Mage versus Warlock.
All right, so this will be an interesting. I'm guessing everyone kind of will lean towards the Open the Waygate Mage here. And I think so. It seems
It
like
is Kranich though. I think it could
he
be
likes aggressive
aggro.
decks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I think it could be aggro, but Dethelor in terms of the Warlock, I imagine, you know, I know Dethelor a little bit, and I imagine it is going to be a Zoo from him. I'd be kind of surprised if he brings Handlock, because Zoo just is, although we've not seen it yet, it's actually pretty consistent.
It always was a consistent deck, right? Like, when you think Zoo, it actually is a synonym of consistency, because every single card is doing almost the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a minion with good stats, and you just play that on board. There are some minions that give stats to other minions, so you wait till you play the first ones.
Yeah, it's just complete repeat value, right? With the lack of Power Overwhelming is now in the classic in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, you don't get as much sort of huge value trades from the 1-drops or anything like that. But in general, the minions are highly valuable. You still have Soulfires. There's the more discard card mechanics, like the Legendary works well with discard. And then, oh yeah, that's a good point. There's E-Cup in the background.
Oh no, the German is helping the Greece?
He's not involved, just to be sure, but they both play for Team Millennium, so they are actually, the whole team is in France for boot camp. For this tournament, specifically, for most of them anyway, and maybe for some tournaments coming up as well. So they are boot camping, as you can see. They're in what I'm guessing is the Millennium offices.
Shout out to them then.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's we've seen multiple players get together physically and you know, work on this tournament. And you know, Greece saw Likeabawse and Logan together, but they were definitely helping out Tsibou there. And he got the win on the board. So we'll see how it turns out as Korea's throwing up Kranich with this mage. I'm looking forward to this.
Every single match seems like a Christmas Eve. You know, you get something
what
new.
Will we get next?
Yeah, what do we get next? Or it's like a box of chocolate. You don't know what to get. Right, every single one will be different.
But there are no bad things apart from the Pirate Warrior we saw earlier. So.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I feel like Pirate Warrior is kind of needed in the game anyway. You need a strong aggro deck to just keep control decks in check. And I feel like maybe Pirate Warrior is a little bit too strong, but it's still
I'm okay with
needed.
a sprinkle of Pirate Warrior.
Yeah. And we have Belaka Crawler right now, which is kind of impactful. Yeah. It fits in some decks even without the effect, right? Because it's still a beast, it's still a 2/2/3, so it's not that bad. And when you think about it, there are a lot of pirates in other decks as well. Rogue always has pirates. There are Swashbucklers, there might be deckhands, right? There's always patches, so might be some effects. All right, so
let's get ready to rumble. Kranich on the Open the Waygate Mage versus Dethelor on Zoo. Got him. Good guess, Raven.
Oh, yes. Wow. Fantastic. Up top.
I hope you heard that. But I was wrong about Kranich. He is going to play Time Warp. It's going to be cool to see how he works out the deck. The deck already looks reasonably similar to Logan's, the Freeze Mage style version. So we'll see how he plays this out. Zoo looking pretty straightforward. You may recognize these cards from every other Zoo iteration we've had the past year or so. As we see Soulfire, Knife, Doomguard, and Darkshade Councilman. But Kranich already... I love South Korea. Looking at the Molten Giant list, there are a few players playing this, and I believe they have Arcane Giants and Molten Giants in the list.
You play both.
And this means when you know, Molten Giant was nerfed to 25 mana, but when you procced at 1 on Ice Block, it's fine. Becomes cheap enough.
Yeah, it's at 0 anyway. The problem with this version of the Mage is the fact that you can't really reliably go through taunts. because you might just not have enough damage. But at the same time, it's easier to assemble those combo pieces because you don't really need 4 or 5 cards. You can finish. Sometimes you can finish the game with a single giant.
Yeah, depending on how much damage you've done beforehand, and also you can the base combo, depending on what the list is like 3 cards. Alexstrasza, 2 giants, Time Warp, hit.
You don't
like,
even need Alexstrasza.
Oh, well, sorry, 2 giants, Time Warp, Alexstrasza. You know, in terms of almost guaranteeing the damage if there's no taunts. So yeah, it's a lot easier to pull off. And Kranich now does have Doomsayer on 2 as well, which means he can sort of try and push back this Zoo opening.
Oh, it's a good opening, I would say. You put 5 power on board on turn 1.
Seems reasonable.
Seems reasonable, and it's especially reasonable against a Doomsayer, so because now Kranich can't really play that. But he did draw a Frost Nova.
Yeah, I think he does play it. I think
so?
with this deck, yeah, I think you've got to go for it.
I don't think
there needs to be what Direwolf exactly to kill it.
Some people instead of the PO are playing Abusive Serpent.
Those people are crazy like that.
Well, I have seen those people,
and yes, they are crazy. No, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying like I would have gone for Doomsayer there, but there are obviously reasons with so much power available that you wouldn't. But yeah, there's the Frost Nova probably did help with that decision. You are right.
Well, yes, if you would have drawn anything else apart from the Frost Nova, I probably would have played the Doomsayer anyway, just to have a chance of securing the board and having an insane advantage early on. But when you have the guarantee to play turn 5 Doomsayer Frost Nova, and your opponent most likely will not have a chance to deal with that, because we talked about this actually yesterday, not a lot of people are actually playing the Alchemist.
Yep.
So there's an easy way of dealing with the Doomsayer nowadays. Then you just clear the entire board from Zoo, and that's amazing.
Yeah, these Fireflies going to come down from Dethelor, go a bit wider onto the board, and also make it more and more likely that this Ravenous Pterodax is actually going to go off, which it destroys one of your own minions that you choose and double adapts, which is absolutely insane.
It's nuts.
Plus attack, win, fury, get him.
That's 14 damage if your opponent doesn't reply to it, which rarely happens, but it can happen. So still, Kranich will get a lot of damage in the upcoming turns. It's 6 damage this turn, and he can get even more in the upcoming one, because he will still not play Frost Nova. So he will go down by a huge margin when it comes to his health. He doesn't have card draw in his hand as well, that's a problem. But he knows his turn 5 is Nova Doomsayer, turn 6 Blizzard, so he still has a lot of card draw to actually get something important and something crucial.
Dethelor's got the choice now to either drop down the bigger minion in the form of the Silverware Golem, or drop down 2 1-drops, or even just a 1-drop tap. But you want to put as many down as possible to try and get this Pterodax off.
I would say the tap and Bloodseer Corsair, or anything else that he draws as a 1-drop, would be better, because he knows that he's getting closer to turn 5.
Yeah.
And that is like the Death Wish for Zoo when the just Doomsayer comes out, right, with the Frost Nova. So he will definitely not overextend, but at the same time, wow, he goes for the Silverware Golem. Interesting.
Yeah, he's probably just confident that on turn 4, all of this cannot be dealt with, and if he deals with the bigger threats, Kranich has already given a nod that he wants to ping off the Flame Imp, sorry, by pinging it the previous turn. He wants to be able to ping it again, so he's already kind of given the nod that he wants to do that, and then if he pings, he only has 2 mana left, Frostbolt, say, onto the 3/3, well, okay. There are three minions still left on the board.
That's true. So now let's count this. If he pings the Flame Imp, he still gets 6 damage to the face. That's 13 life left. If he just goes for the Frost Nova, he's still left at 19, so he heals essentially for 6. Is it worth it to lose the second Frost Nova here? Because you will definitely play Frost Nova or Doomsayer on turn 5, and your opponent will probably not commit more minions if you just play the Frost Nova. So I like the ping.
Yeah, I like the ping. The ping's nice just because, one, you set that up anyway.
Yeah.
You kind of committed to it regardless. And also, like you said, this kind of just sets up for a cleaner 5. And then he can actually Frost Nova any bigger threats later on. Because you've got to think, this isn't about just getting Frost Nova Doomsayer off the once. Like, you've got to make it to the late game here. And he's okay taking damage, remember. He has a Mauling Giant in hand.
Yeah, not bad.
No Ice Block, of course. But
Still okay. The giant is currently at 14. You have to remember it was nerfed from 20 to 25 cost. And for Dethelor, I feel like this is the turn when you should play the Pterodactyl, but at the same time you're aware it's turn 5. And if your opponent just plays Doomsayer First Nova, you literally have no way of dealing with it.
Yeah. Maybe just a Direwolf.
No Direwolf. You already played. He goes into the Pterodactyl. +3 attack, I guess. Well, +1/+1 is not that bad either.
Poisonous can be okay.
Also +3 attack. And
Death Rattle, right?
has to be Death Rattle, especially before turn 5. I love the animation on the massive adapt. By
Oh yeah, when it grows.
It's like, dum, dum.
Yeah. Check that out if you've not seen it, guys. If you didn't catch it then, at least. It's gonna be Frost Nova Doom saying no surprises here.
Still, 2 minions will be left.
Yep.
So it's not that
And there's a
horrible.
Direwolf available. Ooh, and the Doom.
Well, that's close. It's actually 5 damage.
Well, what's kind of cool is they can be Malkazar's Imp into Doomguard next turn to draw 2 additional cards for the turn after.
He can cycle. Well, definitely cycling the Corsair would be amazing. Direwolf Alpha a little bit less,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
But I think with the Doomguard you might be too slow otherwise, because it's gonna be. I suppose you could maybe take one turn. I just worry about Blizzard follow-up, because the 2 damage clears your whole board if you go Alpha into 1 drop.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my! That's a great draw.
Okay, now we're in business.
That is a great draw because now if he just cycles through with the Golem and the Corsair, not only he draws more useful cards, but he develops the board for 0 mana. It's amazing. Oh. So, book first.
Kranich is on 0 out of 6 spells so far. 0. Kranich has got a long way to go for his quest.
That's true, but at the same time, he might even finish the game without that.
Yeah, true. He doesn't necessarily need his quest to win.
What to do? What to do?
He wants to go for the Sorcerer's Apprentice here. Right, because he doesn't need it to finish up the game, right? Putting up Minion against Zoe is still great. Loot Hoarder and a Cumberless Tome. Seems like Loot Hoarder is the option here. Because you want to card draw. It kind of trades with one of the 1/1s. It's like when you play Babbling Book, your opponent will not trade. It will just ignore
I
it.
think you have a ping so the Sorcerer's Apprentice doesn't die. Yeah.
Good option as well.
Just means that you've got that little bit more chance that the Apprentice lives, which means you can do crazy things next turn.
And that's also interesting because now Dethelor, if he wants to kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice, he either needs to sacrifice the attack from the Doomguard into it, or he needs to play Direwolf, and that
Not
means...
play the Doomguard.
Exactly, not play the Doomguard. So essentially, he's always losing damage. And you can't really allow the Sorcerer's Apprentice to live. And what is even more important, Dethelor doesn't know which version is he facing.
Yeah.
So he might not... I'm almost convinced that he actually doesn't think about Molten Giant at all.
Probably not. It's definitely not the common list. The Exodia sort of Antonidas chain list is most common. And then even just Arcane Giants on their own.
Yeah.
It's actually more common, I would say, than Mullins.
And when you play against a Warlock, you don't really need Exodia. I mean, the full OTK combo. Because you need 3 Sorcerer's Apprentice to deal 18 damage. And you play against a class that will actually deal damage to its own health pool.
Ooh. You got the Silverware Golem
And
onto
a
the
second
board.
Doomguard, that's sick.
So now Direwolf and second Doomguard is an option for next turn. Pretty huge.
There's an Ice Block. So he can develop Ice Block, play Babbling Book, and Frost Nova. Although, he might just go for
Actually, I like
Loot Holder.
I like Blizzard Book.
You think so?
Yeah. Blizzard is so expensive. Get it out your hand while you can and while you're relatively safe on 12 health. And you can squeeze the obviously Book first to see what you guess.
Oh my, second Ice Block, that's sick.
Look at Kranich is like, yeah.
Wow.
It's like a third Ice
What a
Block in there.
roll.
But yeah, I like Blizzard because it's so awkward to deal with, to play, because it's 6 mana, and then you can actually just get it out now, and then and not have to worry about it later on. Just the Frost Nova is so much easier to actually play.
All right, well, still an interesting choice. I feel like there's merit to both. Both Blizzard, as you say, it's an expensive card, I give you that. But at the same time, you want to develop the Ice block as soon as possible, especially if you plan to play Kabbalist Tome next turn.
That's true, yeah. It's going to go for the Nova. Lothar wins this round.
That's a very impactful minion, actually. Knife Juggler. Very impactful one because it can help you to clear the block while you're still frozen.
Yeah, Kranich is now one spell into his Waygate. Not quite there yet, though. Got plenty more to go, another 5. And yeah, he's got to work out how he wants to do this, because this game is going to have to either stall out for a long time, as he doesn't really have the beef to be able to finish up this game at all.
All right. The cycle from the imp is so important in this case. It's just you never lose value. You just play a 5 mana 5/7 charge without a drawback.
That's a certain card.
That's insane when you think about it. Now the Blizzard will come in handy because it will kill the kill command. What am I talking about? The Knife Juggler.
Yep. That's gonna be nice. Crazed Alchemist.
And
as well for Dethelor.
And look at that. The Molten Giant will come out for 1 mana.
That Tome needs to get into the freeze effect if that's the case. But this is pretty nice.
Otherwise, doesn't want to go for the loot order. No.
Nah, you played the
nah,
Mullen.
you
You played the
Mullen,
Mullen,
yeah.
Look at Dethelor's face.
Yeah, he didn't
He was like,
anticipate that.
What?
He didn't anticipate that
God.
at all.
Okay, so this is a huge threat now for him to deal with. Crazy Alchemist not going to do too much to a Mullen Giant.
Oh, by the way, he plays Crazy Alchemist.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
Akari Fellhound, though. That's going to put up a bit of a speed bump at least.
Soaks up the damage from the Molten Giants. That's nice. Although, unfortunately, he just lost the Imp, so he doesn't have the cycle anymore.
You know, the sickest play. Akari Fellhound, discard the Wolves, Crazy Alchemist and Fellhound to be able to
So it's
trade with the
8-3,
Mullen Giant.
And then it dies to Frostbolt, and you're like,
Shush, Lothar. I don't like your logic.
what if a Flame Strike will happen? Some people actually play one Flame Strike in the mage lists. It's not that...
Don't shoot down my ideas, Lothar. Come on.
I'm just talking about possibilities, man.
It would be funny if it happened, though. He has no good way to deal with the Mullen, actually. Whether he even wants to at this point, he might just choose to ignore it.
If he ignores it, like, he doesn't know there are 3 ice blocks, right?
Okay, he can play the Alchemist.
Here we go.
It is something he can do, and boo.
He doesn't go
Oh,
for
I
it.
thought we were friends, Dethelor.
So he's playing around a second Doomsayer with another freeze effect, I guess. Oh,
Yeah, if there's a second Doomsayer, then you're kind of in trouble, so pretty reasonable holding on to the Alchemist besides everything I was saying. Primordial Glyph opens up some doors for Kranich, though. Potentially getting another Frost Nova. I could get Polymorph. Polymorph, for example, if he wants to just deal with the Fellhound in that way.
there's a lot of options. So I'm guessing there's no hurt when you just play Glyph first, right?
Mana Bind, Freezing Potion, and Mirror Image.
Well, if you play Mana Bind, you will get a Soulfire at some point, but that's about it. And Mirror Image soaks up some damage. In this case, it will be 6. Well, it's not really the best Glyph I have ever seen. And I feel like Mirror Image is actually the best option here. But he goes for the Freezing Potion. Another Ice Block! Are you
4
kidding
Ice
me?
Blocks.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, Volcano. Meteor, sorry. Not Volcano. Volcano's Shaman card. Meteor, I apologize. He's actually going to be very useful here.
Holy moly.
Also, I think there's a slight mispositioning on Dethelor's side playing the Fellhound on the far right. Because it had Taunt, so if it was going to die, then there's nothing with Direwolf.
That's
Could have
true,
put one more minion on the other side of Direwolf.
That's correct. But at the same time, maybe he was just counting on the damage from the taunt. But he should have just played the taunt inside of the minions, right?
And now I imagine we aren't going to see Soulfire this turn. We can see that there's 3 cards in hand currently that are going to help with their Kranich's quest. But yeah, I imagine you have to hold. So it's tough. Do you Soulfire the Mountain Giant, or do you hold the Soulfire to just guarantee proc the block next turn? Even though we can see It's 3 more where that came from.
It's probably not gonna happen, bro. It's like 4 ice blocks. That's crazy.
It's actually sick. Meech is so good as well. Dude, that card's only 6 mana.
And it kills
Anything.
everything on this board, basically.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Get meteored. Oh, that doesn't really help, to be honest, now. Because of the way the Alchemist works out.
Get it out! Get it out!
So it's 3 damage to the adjacent minions. Oh, a Blizzard. Well, that comes handy.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
Blizzard's just reasonable as well, I guess.
So you want to, if you want to play Blizzard, you kind of need to play the Ice Block as well, because you don't want to die to another Soulfire from the top.
Oh, you have to ice block this turn no matter what, right?
Kinda.
Because you'll die to any sort of direct damage.
Well, what are the charge minions? Both Doomguys are well played already. Oh, right. There's the. Never mind.
Because you can't. The Forbidden
Forbidden
Flame
Flame actually
works
comes
up.
handy.
Yeah, the 1 mana spare after playing the Ice Block means you can clear up the 1-drop. Oh, Soulfire as well. This is
That was close. And he's at 4 spells out of 6 in the quest. And he has 1 more generated spell out of his deck in his hand currently, which is Meteor.
You know what tickles me a little bit?
What?
Kranich has played the 2 ice blocks he got from additional effects, not the 2 in his deck.
Oh, you're right.
Which is kind of great. It's like... I was like, okay, another ice block. And now I know he still has 2 more left. I got this.
Highly
Is it-
problematic.
Positioning. Not playing around Meteor.
Yeah. Well,
Punished.
how do you know? Wait, Molten Reflection?
Yeah, for the Giants.
What do you need those? I mean, you have 4 giants, right?
It's a cheaper Faceless. He might not play Arcane. He might actually just rely on just the Ice Block.
Oh, look at that. Knife Juggler also comes in handy, because you actually popped the block. That is ridiculous.
This is so funny. Dethelor's like, this time. Nope. So Dethelor's not been counting potentially that the 2 ice blocks first were the ones. And now he's like, please, last one. It's like, nope. 1 more, friend. 1 more. This is kind of hilarious. I just want to watch Dethelor's face. Ice block number 4. This is why we should only be allowed 2 cards of any copy. 2 copies of any card, sorry, in a deck, because this is just ridiculous.
So he still has,
Oh!
he still has
Okay.
Alexstrasza in his deck, right?
He's like, this cannot be ice block. This is what are the odds, guys? What are the odds? Also, these will soak up some juggles, but with no freeze effect. This means that, of course, that the block will 100% be procced.
That's true. I was thinking about, you know, killing the villager, but that can actually kill you because of the fact that Ice Block doesn't work during your turn.
That's sick. He can Pterodax into the 1/1s.
Mm-hmm. But there's no adapt taunt. Sorry, adapt charge. So.
No, but that's why you go for the 1/1s, right? You got 2 goes at getting the 1/1s, so there's the ice block again. Dethelor's eyes are like,
Well, that's it, right? 4
Yeah,
ice blocks
surely.
is enough.
yeah, I think you Pterodax into the taunts here. Sorry, into the 1/1s, the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when the Doomsayer goes off, the plant's alive, and you need 1 to live to get lethal here.
Let's see. What he will do.
You could also just wait and go Clutch Mother Pterodax into stealth. Potentially. To try and just sneak it out. Because like I said, there's probably just no ice blocks left. You've seen 2 blizzards, I think, already.
Okay, he goes for the Death Rival then.
Goes 2 shots. Missed. Oh, missed again.
man. Harsh life.
Divine Shield shall not protect you from a Doomsayer.
What if the Doomsayer would get a change? Deal 100 damage to each minion, and then Divine
Divine
Shield
Shield becomes
actually
OP.
helps.
Anto?
Antonidas wins the game next turn. Most likely. For sure. Right? No, it doesn't.
No.
It's 11, 12. So 2 off. So your opponent can't tap.
Yeah, you have to tome. I think.
Do you? Well, if you tome and you don't get a win condition,
To do.
you're not winning.
Get an ice block, it's fine.
No, wait. You actually win if you play Antonidas this turn. I mean, you win next turn. Because Kabbalist Tome will give you a spell that will trigger the quest. But it needs 0 mana. Ah.
Yeah, it's tricky. So yeah, Kranich is one spell away from time warping. Sorry.
What if he plays Cobblestone right now and gets 0 mana? No.
Boo! No ice block.
Well, it is
Just
a
wait to
quest.
see ice block number
Look
5.
at Dethelor. He's like, no way, this is a 5th one.
Not like this. This is how crazy this deck is. I mean, this is extreme circumstance, of course, because 4 ice blocks, but let's see what Dethelor draws. Both Doom Guards are gone. Voidwalker not going to do it. And there's a lot of damage available here for Kranich.
Well, if he would just place 2 minions, Kranich doesn't have a way of dealing with 2 minions, so he would have to go...
I mean,
he would have to
Dethelor can't
ping...
tap either. He's dead next turn.
Well, he doesn't know that.
No, I'm just saying, like, if Dethelor taps, he's dead because of time warp.
Yeah, but even if he doesn't tap, he just plays both minions, then Kranich can ping the Clutch Martyr, take a turn, and then Fireland Portal, the Voidwalker, get a 5-drop.
And then ping the Clutch Mother again.
Yes, and kill it. And he will still be alive for another turn, have a 5-drop on board.
This is, I mean, if this was me, like, I would just tap. It would feel bad, but I would just be like, I just need stuff on the board.
I feel so as well.
Yeah,
yes,
he's
and
gonna
there's
go
live tap.
And that's going to be game. So we see the
Wait, don't be so fast. People kind of mess up sometimes,
okay.
you know?
Kranich doesn't. Well played, indeed. So we're going to see it should be a ping, time warp, pyroblast, couple of turns. Let's see what happens here. Kranich is taking his time. I'm kind of surprised.
See? Oh, he got it.
Nah, see? Never mind. We're going to see ping, time warp, gain a turn. That clock is going to get rewound. And Kranich gains 1 additional turn after this. So he clicks end turn, and it actually resets, draws an additional card. Pyroblast is going to finish it for 10. And South Korea take it over Greece with Kranich on the time warp mage there. 3-1 in total, taking that final win over Dethelor, playing the Zoo list. What a crazy series.
Actually, so far, every single game was really exciting. A lot of outcomes that could have gone either way, and a lot of decisions to make, actually. I think this is the toughest deck to play in overall in current metagame, the Waygate mage, right? There's so many decisions that you have to make, so many also random cards.
So many ways to build the deck as well.
Yes.
Right, that's the thing. And we did see, 2 additional ice blocks, which, I mean, Kranich would have lost if it wasn't for those ice blocks.
That is true.
But you do play a lot of cards that generate more cards, right? Like that's the way the deck works, and the way you actually proc the quest. So stuff like this is going to happen. But it was great, like great play from both players. Actually, I think, like I said, Dethelor's tap that if it was actually, gave Kranich lethal. I would have tapped every single day of the week.
I think almost everyone would tap there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So there's not much you can really try and play around there. So yeah, South Korea is going to take it. There is no need for an ace match. It went 3-1. A strong performance for those guys. And yeah, they're going to be joining Czech Republic in the first 2 teams to be able to get wins here. So we see DDaHyoNi beat Logan, Flurry beat Likeabawse, Tsibou beat Handsomeguy, and then Kranich took down Dethelor. No need for the ace match with Kranich to play again, which would have been a joy to watch, although he couldn't have played his mage.
That is true. So this is the second match of the day. We still have 3 ahead. And
Your favorite coming up next, mate?
oh yeah, right.
So we can check out the standings of this group, though, to see where they stand now. And I can guess South Korea is probably going to be at the top. And then
Well, it has
probably
to
going to
be
be at the bottom.
Has to be because they have a 3-1 and the other
Well,
team
separate
has a
groups,
3-2.
right? As well.
Oh wait, what am
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
You didn't even, you missed my joke, Luther.
Sorry.
Okay, so we see that, yep, with a 3-1 record, as we mentioned, that, the game score is going to potentially be important later on. And now Greece taking the loss. But as we said, these are probably the 2 top teams in this group. So now they've sort of got each other out of the way. They can focus on preying on the other teams. But it's all down to the other teams, Hong Kong, Slovakia, Hungary, Portugal, to actually, knock these guys down and propel them ahead as the top 4 go through.
Yep. To the second stage, of course, it's still far away. Just to recap what we have said in the beginning of the tournament. There's a round robin in every single group, so each team plays against another team once. Then we get to stage 2, where you have another round robin, but with less amount of teams.
Yep, we take a top cut from every single group in this stage, move it on to a second stage, and then we'll move on from there to get a single elimination and then the grand finals. But that's going to be it for now. We're going to go to a very short break before we check out the next match we've got coming up. Plenty more Hearthstone for you guys today. This is Hearthstone Global Games. Don't go anywhere.